Welcome back, Spread Picks, week number 8. So, yeah, I have bad news. My Survivor was going well, and I was on here last week saying that I feel very, very confident about my pick. And that pick was the Buccaneers versus the Panthers. And it seemed like a layup. I think the Buccaneers were favored by 13. And not only did they lose the game, it's how they lost the game, which is the crazy part. They lost like 21-3. And yeah, Mike Evans dropped that touchdown in the first quarter, but I just never thought they would lose by that much. Like, I guess maybe there was a chance some crazy stuff happened and the Panthers won, but to lose by that many to the freaking Panthers without McCaffrey is insane. So through 7 weeks, I am out of Survivor. So sorry I let you guys down. Anyway, I did go 7-6 last week. At least that was positive. But record on the year still kind of sucks. 45, 53-4. But we're creeping back to 500. So I'm still hoping to get there by the time the Super Bowl comes around. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Timestamps will be in the description for each game, and let's get into it. The first game is in London, so back in London after a week off. It's the Denver Broncos at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars always play in London, so that makes sense. But Jacksonville's favored by 2.5, which is coming into the year, expecting the Jags to be favored over Russell Wilson's Broncos was probably not expected, but based on how they've played this year, this line does make sense. Both teams are 2-5, so obviously off to a rough start. I think Jacksonville has played a better football this year. I do respect what the Broncos do defensively, and part of me is a bit nervous that the Broncos are going to have some big blow-up game offensively and put up over 30 points for the first time this year, and part of me is afraid it might be this week, but I'm still going to go with Jacksonville. Jacksonville has been more consistent, I feel like. I trust them to move the ball more despite the possibility of Russell Wilson getting healthier, missing last week's game, but I don't know. I got to see it to believe it, so I will take Jacksonville minus 2.5. This could be one of those games where it comes down to a final field goal, so if that's the case, I'll just take the Jags, and hopefully it's right. Next, the Carolina Panthers are at the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are 4.5-point favorites, and I do believe if the Falcons win this game, they're in first place, or first place in their division, I should say, not the NFC. But anyway, that's pretty funny, but I am going to pick the Panthers. I kind of like this matchup for them. Carolina is good against the run. I think PFF has them as like the 4th best run defense this year. The Falcons are without their top 2 corners, Casey Hayward, AJ Terrell. So the Falcons, all they want to do is run the ball. So if Carolina can stop the run, I do like that recipe for success. PJ Walker played pretty well last week, and if he can kind of duplicate that once again, then I think Carolina is alive to win this game, but maybe lose by 3 or 4 points, and if that's the case, then they would cover, so I'm fine with that. I just think this has the potential to be a very close game, and if that's the case, then I'm going to take the points, and I'll just take Carolina plus 4.5. Next, we have the Chicago Bears at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is a minus 10.5, and now when I do these spreads the past couple weeks, I've kind of tried to do the spread on my own and think, what is the spread going to be? And then I decide after that. And when I was doing that, I figured, the Cowboys might be favored by 6.5 or so. And then I see it was 10.5, and I was like, whoa. So I know Chicago's not great. I mean, they are 3-4, so they found a way to win a few games here. But Monday night probably influences my decision a bit more, but it's also possible that the Bears may have just found something. They have more design runs for Justin Fields. They have implemented Khalil Herbert more into the offense and not just David Montgomery 80% of the time. And Dallas's offense, it didn't look that great in Dak Prescott's first game back. I'm sure it'll get better, but for this to be 10.5 points just feels like way too much. Ezekiel Elliott's out for this game, which, hey, it might help the Cowboys. I don't know. But if the Cowboys were rolling and playing very well, I'd probably take them here, but I just have not seen enough. That game last week in Dak's first game back was weird. It was like they were down 6-3 at halftime, so I don't have that much confidence in them. I'm sure Dallas will win this game like 24-16 or something, but I think Chicago can cover, so I'll take the Bears plus 10.5. Next, we have the Miami Dolphins at the Detroit Lions. Miami is a 3.5-point road favorite, and I'm going to take Miami. I do like them. Getting Tua back helps that team. They have been 4-0 in games where Tua has played start to finish, so that's positive, and they're 4-3 overall. Detroit is 1-5. I mean, yeah, they had a good first month offensively, but they've been pretty crappy ever since. They do get DeAndre Swift back and hopefully a full game of Amon-Ra St. Brown for once, but Jared Goff is making too many mistakes right now. The Dolphins will blitz him heavy, probably force him into a turnover or two. And the Dolphins offense is playing well. I mean, I really can't say anything bad about them. I mean, I know they only put up like 19 points or like 16 points on Sunday night, but they had some like missed fourth down opportunities, things like that. I think Miami versus a pretty inexperienced Detroit secondary can put up a lot of points here. So I think the Lions win this one by like 7 or more. So since it's 3.5, I will take Miami minus 3.5. Next, this has the potential to be a fun game here. The Arizona Cardinals at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are favorites by 3.5 coming off the bye. The Cardinals have extended rest, having played last Thursday versus the Saints, a game where they won that by a lot. Put up over 40 points. It was impressive, but the Saints are pretty overrated right now. They're not the same Saints from the past. So in this one, I'm going to take the Vikings. I do like the fact that Minnesota's at home. I think if the line was 3.5 Vikings and the Cardinals were home, I would probably take the Cardinals. But the fact this is in Minnesota, I do like them here. And I do think against a Cardinals secondary that has not been that great this year, 1 o'clock slot for Kirk Cousins, right up his alley. They should put up a lot of points here. It might be one of those games where the Vikings go up 21-3 right away and then blow the game late, as they tend to do. So that kind of scares me. But I do think Minnesota should get off to a quick start here, and I'm sure Jefferson and Thielen and even Irv Smith will have a nice day. And Minnesota's going to put up points. It just depends if the Arizona Cardinals can also put up points in response. I know that they got DeAndre Hopkins back. That helped the offense a lot, but they're still without James Conner, I saw. So I don't know if they can run the ball. So I will take Minnesota minus 3.5, but I kind of feel like it might come down to a field goal game, so I'm a bit concerned about that. Next, we have the Raiders. They are at the New Orleans Saints, and the Raiders are 1-point road favorites here in New Orleans. And this is a game where the Saints are without some key pieces. They are without Michael Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore, Jarvis Landry, Adam Troutman, the tight end. And they're going back to Andy Dalton. We figured it would be Jameis Winston most likely, but no, they stick with Andy Dalton here coming off the 2-pick-6 game on Thursday night. So I don't know if I agree with that, but still. The Raiders, I get it. They're hard to trust. I definitely know that from the past, but I kind of like them more now because they have established a run with Josh Jacobs, who has looked amazing lately. So I think this is a game, especially with the injuries, that the Raiders should win. It wouldn't shock me if they lose, and like Taysom Hill is one of those like random 3-touchdown games, but the Raiders should win this game. They are the healthier team. I think they're the better team on paper right now. They have some momentum coming off last week's win. So yeah, I'll take the Raiders -1, but they always tend to let me down. Next is the Patriots at the Jets. The Patriots are favorites by 2.5 points. And if I know anything about the Jets, is that they always tend to lose games like this. When the Jets finally have momentum, they're 5-2, you think they're for real, and then Bill Belichick comes to town, and then they lose. And I could see that being the case here. I mean, they're favored by 2.5 for a reason. The Jets are without Breece Hall, who has carried that offense here for the past month or so. He's out for the year. Elijah Vera Tucker, their best offensive lineman, also out for the year. So that's definitely going to be a big loss for the Jets. And Zach Wilson has not played well this year. He has not looked good whatsoever. It's pretty much the run game. And Greg Zuerlein, the kicker, that's carrying the Jets offense right now. And Breece Hall is now done for the year, as I mentioned. So I don't love the Patriots and what they have going on, but they always tend to win these games. So you know what? I'm going to say New England wins this one by 3. They're -2.5, so I will take the Patriots. Next, we have the Steelers at the Eagles, the battle for Pennsylvania, you can call it. The Eagles are 10.5-point favorites coming off their bye. I get it. I mean, the Eagles have been dominant this year, but it's kind of like my, philosophy last week is that 10.5 is just too many points for a Mike Tomlin coach team. I know that the Eagles have Bradbury and Darius Slay playing at a very high level versus a rookie quarterback. It doesn't bode well, but it is 10.5 points, and I could see a scenario where once again the Eagles get up early here and Pittsburgh has a second half of garbage time to come back. I mean, the Eagles always kill teams in the second quarter and then kind of slow down in the second half. So I'm hoping that the Steelers can kind of backdoor their way into a cover here and cover plus 10.5. So yeah, I think the Eagles win this game for sure, but I do think Pittsburgh comes back and covers. So I'll take the Steelers plus 10.5. Next is the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. The Titans are 3-point road favorites. I know Ryan Tannehill kind of has his ankle injury going on right now. He should play in this game, but he might be less mobile. But I don't care because I looked at Derrick Henry's stats the last 4 times he's played the Texans, and it's like Madden numbers. It's like 25 carries, 158 yards, 30 carries, 180 yards. Derrick Henry should probably go off in this game. I think Tennessee is a better team by a good amount, and it's only 3 points. So I do think Tennessee might win by 3, but even then it's still a push, so whatever. So, I mean, Houston, I have not been too impressed lately. I guess sometimes they keep games close that they're not supposed to. I know they won in Jacksonville a few weeks ago, but I don't know. Tennessee, I think they're well coached. They'll get through this one with a victory. Might not be by a lot, but once again, it's only 3. So I'll take Tennessee as a -3. Next is the Washington Commanders at the Indianapolis Colts. It should have been a game where it was Carson Wentz versus Matt Ryan, and we don't get to see that now because both guys are injured, and I think Matt Ryan just got flat out benched anyway. So now it's Sam Ehlinger versus Taylor Heineke, which is not really that exciting. But the Colts are the home team. They are favored by 2.5 points. I don't have much of a feel for this game whatsoever because what the hell are the Colts going to be with Sam Ehlinger? I have no idea. Taylor Heineke plays a reckless style of football, but sometimes it works. I like to believe that Jonathan Taylor gets it going on the ground here. I am a bit concerned that Washington can rush the passer. We know about the Colts' offensive line issues this year, but I don't know. I just feel like the Colts will win this game for no reason whatsoever. So I'll take Indianapolis -2.5, but I don't feel good about it. Next is the 49ers at the LA Rams, and the Niners are 1-point road favorites in this one. The Rams are coming off the bye, but San Francisco is without Deebo Samuel, and their offense pretty much runs through him. I would think McCaffrey gets more involved here this week. He didn't play as much as he usually does last week because it was his first game with the Niners and probably didn't have the whole playbook yet. But with the Rams coming off a bye and Sean McVay being a good head coach, I'm going to take the Rams as a +1 at home here. I don't love it because I can definitely see a scenario where once again that the Niners defense just obliterates Matthew Stafford and that bad offensive line, but I just would hope that they get healthier during the bye week and they have some type of plan to come out here and pick apart this Niners defense if they can. If Deebo Samuel played, I'd probably pick the Niners, but without him, that Niners offense can look a whole lot different. And we know Jimmy Garoppolo can definitely make mistakes. So I'll take the Rams +1, but it does not feel good either way. Next is the New York Giants. They are on the road at Seattle. Seattle is favorites by 3. And just once again, the Giants are getting no respect. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, this should be a game where it's a high-scoring one. I feel like a lot of people are picking Seattle to win. I get it, but that was kind of the case last week too. People thought Jacksonville would win that game. The Giants are always getting timely turnovers. Daniel Jones is protecting the football very well, and Saquon Barkley should run very well because Seattle has a very bad run defense, and Seattle's without DK Metcalf. So you know what? I know Kenneth Walker might have success versus this Giants defense, but the Giants have a lot of good things going for them right now. Tough environment on the road, I get that, but you know what? I'll take the Giants as a +3, and I think they win the game outright. Next is the Green Bay Packers on the road at the Buffalo Bills, Sunday Night Football. I've never seen Aaron Rodgers as an 11-point underdog, but here we are. And I don't know. I've taken the Packers the past couple weeks here. It has shot me in the foot every single time, but I'll do it one more time. I'm going back to the Packers +11 for Aaron Rodgers. Seems like it's insane. But at the same time, I guess the best team in the NFL is the Buffalo Bills at home. There's no better team in the NFL than Buffalo at home. But I just think Green Bay, I don't think they win this game, but they have to compete better than they have the past couple weeks. I mean, it's been pretty sad what they've been up to, against the Giants, the Jets especially, that game last week against Washington. So many missed opportunities, bad penalties versus Washington. Hopefully Green Bay plays a cleaner style of football in this game, stays away from the penalties, and can run the ball with some success. But it would not shock me either if the Bills won this one like 35-14 because they're that good. So I don't know. I'm going to take the Packers +11, but you never know with Buffalo at home. Lastly, Monday Night Football. The Bengals are on the road at the Browns, and the Bengals are 3-point road favorites in this one. Jamar Chase will not be playing in this game, of course. He was supposed to go on IR, but now he's not, so I don't know what's going on with that. But he'll be out for a couple weeks at least. So I'm still taking the Bengals here as a -3 road favorite. That, of course, is because the Browns have had such a bad defense this year. I think Joe Mixon can have some success on the ground in this one. And you still have Tyler Boyd, still have T. Higgins. Hayden Hurst has been a pretty good tight end this year for Cincinnati. And the Bengals have figured things out offensively. I know what they do. A lot of it really depends on Jamar Chase and his big plays, but they're getting Joe Burrow in shotgun, and that offense is now rolling like it did last year. So I get losing Chase sucks, it hurts, but they should still win this game regardless. I will take the Bengals -3. Now, there is no more Survivor. I can't make those picks anymore. If I were still in, I would take Philadelphia because I think they beat the Steelers, but yeah, that can't happen anymore. So that is what it is. If you're still in Survivor, let me know. I'm kind of curious who's still in and who you're taking this week and all that. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys next week on the Week 9 Spread Pick Show.